Now that we've looked at compositions of functions using formulas, let's take a look at a composition where we're going to use tables for the functions instead of formulas or graphs. In this particular example, you're given two tables, one for the function t and one for the function s. The function t depends upon the input lowercase t, and the function s depends upon the input lowercase x. Your first question after being given the table is for the composition s of t of 8. So let's look at that. S composed with t of 8 really means s of t of 8. Now, in order to read the tables properly, we need to remember that when they're given horizontally like this, that the top row is always the input row. So we want to substitute 8 into t. To do so, we get a value of 3. And now we want to finish the composition by calculating s of 3. So again, recalling that the top row horizontally is your input, we look for the value of 3, and we see that 3 is assigned a value of 6 in the table. Okay, so the composition s of t of 8 actually ultimately leads us to the value 6. And just as a side note here, one way to look at this again is that you're putting 8 into the formula t, you're getting the value 3, and then you're putting the 3 into the function s and getting the value 6. So you're tracking it this way. Okay, now we have part B, which is t composed with t evaluated at 8, which means we're looking for the function t evaluated at the value t of 8. So we're going to work our way inside out again, and we're going to substitute 8 into t, and we did that actually in the previous step and saw that we got 3. Okay, now we want to substitute 3 into t. So we look at the lowercase t row, and we see that 3 is assigned to a value of 1. So basically here we end up with a value of 1. Okay, so similarly, part C, s composed with s of 8 is defined as s of 8. And so I'm going to go to my S chart and I'm going to substitute 8 into S, which leads me to a value of 1. And then I'm going to basically start over and take the value of 1 and substitute it into S. So I find x equals 1, and I see that I actually get the value 8. And then finally, the last part is t composed with s of 4, which means t of s of 4. So if we take the function s and we substitute in 4 in a table, that looks like the following. 4 is assigned to the value of 2. So now we're looking for t of 2. So we go to the t table and we try to find the input of 2, and as we scan across the entire input row, we see that lowercase t is never 2, so the appropriate answer here is undefined. We can't do it. We don't have a value assigned to 2 in the capital T chart. And notice that your instructions say if something's not possible, then we would type in none. So for this last guy, it's none. And then the other guys are the values that we found previously.